Hello there everyone, this is me Ethan here, and welcome to my first film review of 2024. And in today's video I'll be doing a quick review of Matthew Vaughn's newest film, Argylle. This film stars Bryce Dallas Howard and Sam Rockwell as Bryce Dallas Howard's spy espionage novel series comes to life in the real world, and that's the most basic description I can give of this movie because within the first hour it changes totally. The first hour goes about as the trailer follows, but after that hour and you get into the last hour and 20 minutes of the movie, it totally changes, and after that point I didn't really enjoy it. My first big complaint is that the trailers advertise some big names. You've got Henry Cavill, Dua Lipa, John Cena, Ariana DeBose, the list goes on of these very big actors that are going to be in this film, but really they're super underutilized. You do not get much of Henry Cavill really at all. I was expecting a lot more from him. Now, I know Henry Cavill, Dua Lipa, John Cena, they're all playing characters within a fictional book inside of the movie, but regardless, I was expecting a lot more from them, and unfortunately, the film didn't deliver on that front. Bryce Dallas Howard and Sam Rockwell are both good. They're alright. They do a decent job getting the movie done. I think by the time the movie ends, it's almost a rom-com. And in that sense, I think it could work well as a possible date movie. I know multiple couples went to see it opening night in the same theater as I did, and they seemed to really eat it up. But for me personally, I didn't. Like I said before, I thought the story started out extremely strong. I was pretty sold on the concept at first, but after the first plot twist, it just totally goes off the rails. I'd say there are about maybe 5 or 6 different plot twists within the last 30 minutes. And I understand it's supposed to be maybe making fun of the spy genre, but if you're going to do that many twists, I start to lose interest because why should I invest my time in what just happened, something crazy that just changed within the story, whenever something else is going to change 10 minutes later. Eventually, I just got tired of it and I was ready for it to end. And part of that does come down to its pacing issue. This movie should not be almost 2.5 hours long. Just based on the concept alone, it should not have that long of a runtime, and because of that, it definitely hurts the pacing. Like I said, the first hour of it, I was fine with. If it had went on for another 30 or 45 minutes, I would have maybe been a little better with this movie. But the fact that it goes on for so much longer and includes so many different other plot twists, I got tired of it. I think the directing is probably the best part of this film. I haven't seen any of the Kingsman movies by Matthew Vaughn, but I do really enjoy X-Men First Class. I think that's a very strong X-Men movie. Obviously, the choreography is really well done. I enjoyed the train sequence that you see in the trailer, but otherwise, the visuals didn't help much with the direction. There's some really rough CGI and green screen in this film. There's multiple points where two characters will be talking and you see a cityscape or a beach or some sort of environment in the background, and you can obviously tell they are not in that environment. It is very much so a green screen. There's really bad CGI. There's a certain scene with ice skates towards the end. If you've watched it, you know what I'm talking about. That action sequence is rough. I like the way it was all mapped out and blocked and all that, but the CGI was so bad that became the main focus for me, and it was jarring and it was weird. I think there was some entertainment value to be had. Obviously, the theater I was in really ate it up. They laughed multiple times throughout the film. Me personally, I didn't laugh a whole lot, maybe a handful of times. A lot of the laughs were from this really bad CGI cat, which plays back into what I just mentioned. But obviously, there is some entertainment value here for some, so I can't necessarily knock it down too much for that. But as for me, it started out pretty entertaining, but as it went on, I entered manual blinking mode, like I was just watching just stuff happen on the screen. And there's one point in the film where you think a character is dead, but they are not. And they try to explain to you how this character is not dead, and it is the most absurd outcome imaginable, the most absurd circumstance. And I laughed whenever I saw that. And like I said, if you've seen the film, you'll know, but the way a certain character survives in this film is so weird and out there, and I'm totally okay with weird and fun movies. I love a good weird and fun movie, but this pushed that boundary a little too much for me, where it was just absurd. And there is also a post-credit scene. I didn't really understand it. I thought it was kind of weird. I'm not going to say anything about it if you haven't seen it, because obviously it is more spoiler territory, but I found it just pretty funny. Didn't make much sense, but I did find it pretty funny. For Argyle, I'm giving the story a 3 out of 10. As I said before, it starts off strong but loses it as it goes on. I'm giving the acting a 5 out of 10. There are some good performances here. I think Bryan Cranston and Catherine O'Hara are both perfectly fun in this. But like I said, there's a lot of actors in here, and a lot of them don't get much to work off of. I'm giving the direction probably the highest rating with a 6 out of 10, just because I think Matthew Vaughn is a good, talented director. He just didn't have a very good script to work with in this film. I'm giving the pacing and the visuals both a 3 out of 10. This film went on way too long, and it just looked ugly for most of its runtime. I'm giving the target audience actually a 6. There was a grandma and grandson that sat next to me, and they seemed to really enjoy it. I know the grandma just had hots for Henry Cavill the entire time, but they both seemed to enjoy it, and I think it reached its target audience. Like I said, there were some couples there. There were just some average moviegoers, just some dudes going to see it alone. There were families there. They all seemed to laugh. They all seemed to act shocked and surprised whenever the twist happened. So I think it reached its target audience. It just wasn't me. I'm giving a 5 out of 10 for how much it resonates with people. Like I said, it sort of becomes a rom-com by the end of it, so I think there is some entertainment or emotional value. So that's why I'm giving it a 10 out of 30 on the entertainment or emotional value category. So overall, I'm giving this film a 4 out of 10. I don't think it is the worst movie imaginable. It just really didn't work for me on so many different levels. I think some parts worked. I think there is the bones, the structure there for a really solid movie that I would have really ended up loving. But at the end of the day, I just got really sick of it. During the last 30 minutes, I was waiting for it to end, and I just wish that we had gotten Henry Cavill's proper spy movie. So there was my review for Matthew Vaughn's Argyle. Not an amazing start for 2024, but let me know what you thought of this film in the comments below. Let me know what you loved about this film. I'd love to hear any and all opinions. So if you all enjoyed this review and if you all enjoyed this video, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, I will see you all in the next one. Bye and have a great day.